Hey, Michael, Max Miller with Sharks Hockey Digest and Edge.com.
How you doing?
Just want to ask you just how you found out about the trade, thoughts on the trade, and just becoming a San Jose Shark.
Yeah, to be honest, I kind of knew it was coming. Kind of want to thank Buffalo for my time there. Obviously, it didn't go to plan, but I appreciate Yarmo for getting me a new situation and kind of a fresh start after a frustrating, tough, injury-riddled year. So, I was driving back from the golf course and heard it was the Sharks. Um, and honestly, it was where I wanted to be. It's the team I had circled kind of for the last few years of a spot where I think I can come in and grow my game. Obviously, I'm familiar with Warsawski, had him at World Championships when we won, and I've skated with Smitty for years out here on the East Coast and Colin Graff. So obviously, there's a lot of young talent on the team, a good forward group, and I think the way they play up front suits my game a little bit. And yeah, I'm just really excited going.
Maybe I know you signed the extension. We'll get to that in a second, but just maybe what went wrong in Buffalo, maybe other than the injury, and how do you feel you can rebound with the Sharks this season?
Yeah. To be honest, it was just a lot this year. I've never been hurt during the year like that. And, I was kind of trying to play catch up all year. Obviously, with my knee injury, it was a partially torn quad tendon, a pretty good tear. And basically anytime I bent my right leg, I got knee pain. And I mean, it's still something I'm dealing with right now. It's almost back to 100%, but it's something the doctor said would take a year to get better. And to be honest, I probably rushed myself back the first time I came back, and then I come back again, and then I have a high ankle sprain, another tough kind of hockey injury, and that lingered for a long, long time. And I think mentally, it kind of just wore me down, not being able to be myself on the ice, and every day going out for practice, being in pain a little bit, or one day my knee feels good, the ankle hurts, and one day the ankle feels good and the knee hurts. So it was just a mental battle throughout the year. And obviously, when I was out, those 4D started playing really well, and they were playing a ton of minutes. And um, credit to them, like they completely earned it. And I let that affect me a little bit too much mentally. And um, I should have accepted my role probably a little bit more towards the end of the year and just being really hard defensively, um, and kind of going from there. But it was a learning lesson for sure, a learning curve. And I think all everything that I took out of the year was just dealing with adversity and knowing how to deal with injuries now. And going through something like that makes me even hungrier. And I'm just really excited for the fresh start. And I think I learned a lot of hard lessons. And I'm looking forward. I know 2 years ago I had a really good year in Utah, and to be honest, after World Championships, after winning, I was like, I'm just getting started. And I think it kind of just went on pause for a year. But I'm extremely confident that I can grow my game from what I showed in Utah and take a next step, with not only finding my game again, but taking another step and being a top four, 6'5" right shot defenseman that can skate, that can shoot the puck, that can get in the play, that can close plays. And looking to build off that. And you know, learning mentally what it's going to take this year every day, and keeping my head down. And with Warso, I know what to expect from him, and being good defensively to start, and then letting my offense take over. I felt like maybe I was chasing it a little bit in Buffalo, trying to make a big impression early and after being hurt. So, that's something I took away from the year. And, um, I'm working on that side of the game too, my mental side. I have a mental coach now this summer, and, just trying to every day to get better, and know that, I'm the player that I was in Utah. It was just tough with the injuries. And, that now that my body's feeling better, and I can kind of get through that and know I'm going to get back to that level and exceed that level. So I'm really excited for the fresh start.
Awesome. I'll just one more quick one here. Just you mentioned in that answer about, you felt like you were on your way after that season in Utah in the World Championships and, it got put on pause. How nice is it to be almost reassured of that with the Sharks signing you to this sort of contract, 3 years, this cap hit, to see that maybe last year was a fluke?
Yeah. Obviously it's a big responsibility on me, and I want to thank the Sharks and Greer and everybody involved. I'm extremely confident that I'm going to get back to that level and exceed that level. And, you know, the extension shows that they believe in me, and they believe I have more to give. And, it's just it was a weight off my shoulders yesterday. Even on the ice today, I saw Smitty today actually at the rink, and just going on the ice after, I feel so good. My body's starting to feel better. I've been training hard again, and um, yeah, I'm just really excited to prove them right and show that I have another gear as well.
Thank you.
Shang.
Hey, Michael, Sheng Peng, San Jose Hockey Now. Welcome to San Jose and congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you tell us your impressions of Ryan Warsawski? I guess you met him at World Championships and just your impressions of playing under him.
Yeah, obviously it's a short tournament and it's a little bit different style hockey than the NHL, but I felt like I had a lot of success under him, and um, I felt he pushed my buttons the right way at that tournament, and really got the most out of me and the role I played at that tournament. And I know he really thinks highly of me as a player, and that was a big part of me wanting to come to San Jose too. Is I know the coach really, sees my potential, and I think we both understand what I need to bring to the table and what I need to do to keep growing. And I think he's going to be hard on me, but push my buttons in the right way, and be positive when I need positive, and be negative when I need a little kick in the butt. And I have a lot of faith in Warso. Obviously, winning together, brings you that much closer. And um, I thought just at that small sample size of the tournament, he pushed everybody's buttons the right way, and the group came together really well. And for such a short time, I felt like that was probably the most fun I've ever had playing hockey. And the coaching staff plays a big part in that, and in a tournament like that. So I just have a lot of faith in him, and that he can develop me. And you know, I think he has a lot of faith in me as well as a player, and what I can bring to the table. So I'm really excited.
How long have you been skating with Will Smith and Colin Graff? And is it kind of cool to see how they have gotten better over the years? Yeah, I'm sure when you met them a couple years ago, maybe you were stopping them more, and now they're kind of, a little harder to stop, I bet.
Yeah, Smitty, it's funny. Smitty, I met skating in Woburn, and I don't know. It's when you get older, you don't follow the younger kids as much. And there's a little NTDP kid on the ice, backhand toe dragging guys, and I'm like, who's this kid? And everybody told me, Will Smith, he's going to go in the top 10. And I've skated with him ever since, and great kid. Obviously, I played a few world championships with him as well, and um, you knew it was coming since college, since he was NTDP. So just a high level passer, elite vision, elite stick skills, and it's been fun to watch his development. Obviously, he's got a lot bigger and stronger since his college days, and he took a big step last year in San Jose, and even at World Championships the summer before, he looked like he took a step. And obviously, as a D man that likes to join late, that's exactly the type of guy that you want to play with, and has elite vision, and can set me up for chances. And excited to play with him. And then Graffer, skate with him a little less, but I always see him throughout the summers. Obviously, great story. He had a big year this year. Can score, skill, beat you 101. So I'm really excited to play with him as well. It's always good to see a story like that too, where he's a late bloomer, really worked his way into the league, and had a big year this year. So, two really good young forwards, and there's about six more on the roster. So, yeah, it's a very exciting time to be a San Jose Shark.
And this is kind of your first big contract. How will you celebrate it?
Yeah, I don't have too much planned. Honestly, I have my aunt's wedding this weekend. So it's all about her, but it's kind of nice that the whole family will come together. So I'll have everybody say congrats early, and then it's about my aunt. But not too much, honestly. Just enjoy it, enjoy the next few days, and enjoy the feeling, and stay hungry. I think it's a really good reward for what I did in Utah and the promise I showed. But to be honest, I'm kind of sick of that word of a lot of potential. I'm sick of hearing that. I think I have the ability to be a really good top four D man in this league and be a difference maker. And I think in Utah there was stretches, pretty long stretches where I showed that, and I felt like there was games where I was one of the better players on the ice. And I'm a hungry guy. I'm a six rounder. I kind of worked my way into the league. I felt like I've really earned everything I've gotten, and now I feel like I'm going to get a big opportunity to prove what I can do. And I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted. So um, it's back to work. Keep getting better. Keep improving, and go from there.
All right, congratulations again.
Curtis.
Hi, Mike. This is Curtis Pachalka from the Mercury News in San Jose. Congratulations on the new contract. I just wanted to ask, obviously the Sabres went on a nice playoff run, and we're really close to get to the conference final. But just from your perspective, just how kind of frustrating was it to not get to play as often as you probably liked?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. To be honest, I felt like I kind of played hurt and not myself all year. And then, right before the trade deadline, I thought I was starting to play better, a little bit more consistent. And I felt like, they had their mind made up for that year. And it's nothing against them. I should have played better. I should have handled the situation better. I have to own up to it. And I didn't handle everything the best. And, that's a tough lesson I had to learn because it was it was obviously not fun watching, but watching the city of Buffalo get around the team and watching those games and how competitive they are and how high level they are, it hurt, and it put more wood to the fire. And I'm really hungry to get back there and prove that I can make a difference in those games. And I didn't play, but I think watching that close and seeing the guys and how they were the whole time throughout playoffs and how close it brought our team, and even going back to world championships, winning there, it makes you want to really win. And that was a big part of me wanting to come to San Jose. Is I think the team is built to win for the next however many years. It's so much young talent, and it's just a really exciting time to be a Sharks fan. Obviously, you get to play with one of the best young players in the world, and who knows, Stenberg and Will Smith and Misa, like what are they going to turn into? They all have another gear, another 2 gears, another 3 gears. So they're all going to keep elevating their play. And as a defenseman that likes to contribute offensively, it's pretty exciting to join that crew.
Um, you mentioned the roster there? Does it remind you of what Utah had there for quite a while when you were there last couple years ago?
Yeah, I think we talk about Smitty a lot, but he reminds me of Keller a lot. Just the elite vision and stick skills, and um, being able to make plays that other guys don't see. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of similarities. Obviously, Logan Cooley was a elite player, and Celebrini's, that level and growing, and it's just very similar. The young skill, the vision, the competitiveness. I remember the first time I played against Macklin, you can just see the fire in his eyes when he's competing on the puck and trying to get away from you. And that's something you want to have. A hockey legacy, you got to win at the highest level, and that's something I'm hopefully really excited to join. And the possibility of being part of this core moving forward and proving that I can be a big part of this is something that makes me really excited. And yeah, I see so much potential in this group. It's so exciting.
The obviously the Sharks are hoping to make the playoffs next season, and they've talked about how the biggest thing they need to do to get there is cut down on the goals against. I guess, how do you see yourself as being a guy like a puck stopper, a guy who can end plays in the defensive zone? Do you see that's also a part of your game, I guess?
Yeah, I think when I'm playing at my highest level, I can deny the blue lines really well. Obviously, I'm a 6'5". I think last year, the big problem was my skating kind of took a hit with the two lower body injuries, and I have all summer to get that pop back in my step. And I think and I already have a lot of that back already. So just getting that extra pop back in my step and being able to skate really, really well again and move really well again, use my reach, close plays quickly. Um, I want to be more physical. I think in Utah, I was building towards that. And then this year, when I did play, with the high ankle injury, it was tough to be physical all the time. Like in battles, it would tweak. When I'd hit guys, it would tweak. Um, so I'm looking forward to keep building that side of my game as well, being able to close plays and, finish guys. So when I come on the ice, other forwards are like, damn, like I got to play against this guy again. Like he's big, he can skate, he plays physical, he uses his reach. And, there's other things like reading the play and being good in structure that I think I want to keep improving on. And I think Warso is going to be really good for me to keep improving that side of my game. And then obviously using my just raw abilities to be able to close guys quickly is a strength of mine. And, just to be able to do it on a more consistent basis and get back to moving the way I know I can move. And that's going to help a lot as well.
You might have just touched on it, but what are some of the things you want to try to dial in here over the next couple of months before start camp starts, I guess?
Yeah. I mean, with the tendon, it's pretty close to 100% now, but there's still some days where I'm sore and, just working through that and make sure I'm rehabbing that the right way. And, I think the big thing is not overdoing it. There's certain days where I got to lay off it and let it heal and let it rest. And there's certain days I can push it more and just, being more self-aware of that. I think I'm a little bit older now than I used to be a few years ago. And, taking care of your body is a big part of being an NHL player. And I think that's something I learned the hard way maybe this year is, I should have been more vocal with people in Buffalo about how much I was hurting. I think I downplayed stuff a little bit too much at times and it ended up biting me. And that's one of the lessons I had to learn. And it's no one to blame but myself for that. So, that's a tough lesson I learned. And I think being able to manage how my body's feeling and knowing when I can really push and when I got to lay off it a little bit is something I'm trying to be very aware of this summer. And then, just getting that explosiveness back. Like when I tore it and I was trying to play, I could barely jump. I couldn't even run off the ice. And, now I'm training, I'm sprinting, I'm jumping with little to no pain. So just getting that last kind of pain and aggravation and getting that out of my knee and just being able to feel good every day and keep building on the sprinting and the jumping and getting that explosiveness I have back.
Right.
So that's the big thing I'm kind of focusing on right now.
So the tendon that's in your knee, like your right knee.
Yeah, so it's like it's connected to your quad and it goes right into your knee. So
Okay.
like anytime I bent my right leg this year, I had knee pain basically. And
Oh, okay.
it got maybe 2%, 5% better every month. So it's just the thing that was going to take some time to really heal
So
and for
you
me to feel good.
so you feel confident you'll be 100% by camp. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and to be honest, like even after the trade deadline, I started to feel pretty good again. Like I felt like I was moving really well again, but I just felt like I didn't really get the opportunity to show that.
Hmm.
Um, so it was unfortunate, but I felt like even a few months ago I could play at a high level again. So now it's just working out, getting the last 5%, let's say, of the pain to go away or whatever. It's not really pain anymore. It's just a annoying little um, pain, I guess. But
Good stuff.
yeah, so I'm very confident that I'll have my explosiveness back and I'll be back to moving the way I was in Utah at the start of camp this year.
Got it. All right. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Max?
Yeah, Michael, just wanted to ask you, how well do you know Jason Demers?
Yeah, so honestly, I have JD to thank a lot for everything. I know he was pumping my tires pretty good. I met him at Oilers camp the year before I got traded to AZ. he kind of just took me under his wing. I'm very grateful for him. He's probably one of the most important people I've met in my hockey life and in my career. He was kind of my partner basically that whole season in Bakersfield. Um, and he was just really good for me that year. Playing with an experienced vet, someone that, I think I have similar traits to. Um, and I think he just really took me under his wing and he helped me with the mental side of the game, still is. Helped me understand what it's going to take to play at the NHL level, helped me make that jump, helped me really take off that year in Bakersfield. And, he was one of the first people I called about my deal. And, I owe him a lot. And I want to prove to him that, I'm going to be the player that he thinks I can be and take that next step. So he's been nothing but great to me. He's kind of like my father figure in hockey. And, um, yeah, it's going to be good to have him around. I know he's going to be around the team a little bit this year. And, yeah, it's really exciting to play somewhere he played, and he knows it's a good spot for me, and he knows what I'm capable of too. So it's nice to have him around.
What is he or maybe Will or Colin or anybody that you know in San Jose told you about San Jose?
Yeah, Smitty, I've skated with him a bunch already this summer. So, obviously, big thing for me is I got spoiled in AZ with the weather, so I'm excited to get back into the nice weather. And um, West Coast. I lived in Bakersfield for 2 years, so I've been in Cali. I know what Cali's about. Obviously, San Jose will be a little different, but I've played there a bunch. And um, you know, they say there's good golf, which is I'm all for the good golf. And they say it's a great group of guys. A lot of guys reach out to me, so I'm really appreciative of that. I've played against a bunch of guys. I played against Sherwood a bunch in the minors. I've played with Smitty, played with them, Colin Graff, ski with him the summer, obviously played against all those guys. So, yeah, it's exciting just to be part of that group. And, I'm going to live, I think, in Santana Row, get acclimated to the area and it's close to the practice rink, close to the game rink, easy. And, yeah, I'm just really excited to wear my flip flops to the rink and go from there.
Awesome. Thanks.